Hey y'all, it's me, Delores, the pastor's daughter. What's up? I just wanted to come in and do a really quick check-in with y'all. I've been really thinking about the end of this book. Yeah, I'm on my vibration plate. Remember we talked about this before, you guys. Do you have your vibration plate yet? If you don't, you need to get one. Y'all, I think this is working. Like I'm starting to get compliments on I'm starting to get compliments. So I think this is like working, y'all. Okay. Like, and I'm starting to feel a bit different. Like I could feel, like my stomach going down a little bit, like a little less bloat and stuff like that. So, and I got a little bit more definition in my stomach. So y'all need to get y'all one of these. But anyways, so I've been thinking about the end of the book, right? Y'all know we've been doing these writing sessions. I have kind of gotten off track a little bit, with just stuff that's been going on around here kind of threw me off a little bit. But I'm still thinking about the end of the book. And I think last time I was on here, I was telling y'all that I think the end of the book needs to go back a little bit into book one, right? Because if y'all have book one, you know that book one provoked, right? Um, that is a conversation, right? So that whole book nearly is dialogue between my father and I, right? And this was the last conversation I ever had with my father where I was just like, I can no longer have a relationship with him. Like, this is not going to work. There's just no hope for a relationship between he and I. So that was that last conversation. That's where I wrote that book, like that conversation is like the center of that book, kind of like the breaking point, it's just kind of like that defining moment that was like, that just kind of set everything, you know, on fire, I guess. Um, so I think that what I need to do is go back into that dialogue in book one and pull that back in, right? And pull it into book two. So like the end of book two, right? To objectify. Okay. So, because you guys know, right, in book one, we established that objectification was the 14th spiritual abuse tactic, right? So you guys know in episode 3 in volume 1, right? The book Provoked, right? That one it establishes objectify as a spiritual abuse tactic, right? And I also tell you about the 13 others, right? So I tell you all about the 13 other spiritual abuse tactics, and then we get into um objectify being the 14th spiritual abuse tactic, right? So that's me. Like that's my contribution to the field of spiritual abuse, to the knowledge base. Okay. So I've actually added a tactic onto an already established list of tactics. So like that's a big deal, you guys. That means I have really contributed to this field of study, right? So um we established objectification as a spiritual abuse tactic in book 1. Okay. Episode 3, book 1. Book 2 is all about objectification, right? Because this volume 2 is called The Pastor's Daughter Objectified. Hold on, let me show you guys. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna show you these book covers, okay? Because this here is book 1. That's book 1. The Pastor's Daughter Provoked. Okay? That's book 1. And this is book 2 here. So this is the volume that's coming out in August. This is what we're talking about right now. Okay? So I think that what we need to do is pull the dialogue from book 1, right? From Provoked into Objectified, right? And kind of like how we got here type of thing. So this is what I'm thinking has to happen. I think that we need to listen to together, okay? Like we need to listen to the dialogue from book 1, okay? So that means that we need, like, I got the recordings, y'all. Y'all know I got the recordings, right? So I think that what we need to do is listen to it together, right? and like analyze it. Like let's like listen to it one time, like just listen to it through. You know what I'm saying? And then like we need to listen to it again, and then like start to like break it down. You know what I mean? Like we need to get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like really like break down how objectification, like how it's used, how it starts, how it, manifests itself, how it, turns us um into toasters. You know what I mean? Like the book cover, just something to be used at someone's will, however they want to use you. And when you no longer have value to them, when you decide that you want to do something different, when you decide that you want to be more, when you decide you want to do your own thing, then you're discarded, or you're treated as, like you're nothing. That's objectification. And so I think that we need to go into the dialogue. And I think it's time now, right? Because I've been kind of like sharing with y'all a little bit here and there, and we just been kind of tiptoeing with it. But I think we need to just we probably just need to just jump in, y'all. Like, I think it's about that time. And, and I can see how like pulling that dialogue into the end of book 2 is going to kind of like put it into book 1. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know book 1 ended with to be continued. Okay. So we know like we had unfinished business. You know what I mean? Like, so book 1, we could like, it was like, look, we see you. That's what book 1 was. Book 1 was like, okay, I got you. Like, I see your tactics, I see your ways, I see the manipulation, we see each other type of thing. That was book 1. But we need to put an end to that, right? Because we can't continue to be provoked. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so symbolic and so like real life. Because I mean, how many times have we allowed ourselves to be provoked, right? And we get out of character, we do things that are not like us. We are like reacting, and instead of responding, instead of, disengaging, instead of, divorcing ourselves from the toxicity, instead of doing all the other things that would actually help us, right? So we cannot continue to be provoked. We cannot continue to allow someone else's behavior to cause us to act out of character, to make rash decisions, to make bad decisions, you know, to not think clearly, to act off of impulse and emotion. We're no longer being provoked, right? So now that we understand the tactic, we understand the game, you know what I mean? Now it's time to like go back and like put an end to it. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like put a close to it, like close that chapter, divorce it, be done with it. It's over. And I think that that's the direction we need to go with the end of book 2. So I think that that's why I've been kind of like a little bit kind of like where I couldn't quite finish it just yet, because book 1 had that unfinished business, and we need to close that business out. We need to, you know what I'm saying? We need to finish the business. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do, okay? So the next time I'm about to go take a nap, y'all, okay? Because y'all know how I feel about child. Your girl gotta go take a nap. All right, because I've been up early today. I went and did you guys know I'm a chamber ambassador for my local chamber. So I did some ambassador duties this morning. Then I went by, you guys, I went by a V-Spy and got some more facial, got my mud mask, and I got my toner, and I got my cleanser. And I'm gonna show y'all that later. So we can do our facials while we listen to the recording, okay? And we're gonna just listen to it. So like we can just do our facials, we just gonna listen. Okay, we're just going to listen, and we're not going to judge just yet, but we are going to judge eventually. Okay. So that's the direction that we're going to go with it. And so I'm going to take this juicy nap, y'all. Okay. Take this juicy nap. And then we're going to come back. We're going to come back, do our facials, and listen to that recording. And I'm telling y'all, like, this is where I am now. And I think that this is like the right direction, right? Because it feels right. And so I feel like this is like clarity, like this is me becoming like clear about how I want to end book two and kind of like close out book one. You know what I'm saying? Because see, like book two also has to like lead you into book three because there is a third, it's a 7 book series. Okay. So I also got to lead you into book three, but we got to close out book one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. So when I come back after I take this juicy nap, then we're going to do our facials and then we're going to listen to those recordings, okay? I love you guys. Thank y'all for hanging with me, kind of like seeing my process, kind of like my creative process or whatever. It's, I'm a little weird, in that way, but like, it just, that's me. So I embrace it and I'm sharing it with you guys just in case, you're a little weird too. And, you got your kind of quirky ways of creating, cause we were created to create, so, that's what I want us to do in this space. Okay. I love you guys and I will see y'all later.